Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching and truth and sincerity. Lesson will be entitled Argentina and Why. Lord will, you are edified. Video was inspired by multiple videos from the TikTok platform, also fair use.
You can see.
So the Trump administration says that we don't have enough money to help American farmers that are struggling right now. We don't have enough money to aid American businesses that are struggling right now, both of which tie into all of these increased tariffs that Donald Trump has enacted. We don't have enough money to aid those on assistance, on things like WIC, food stamps. In fact, they went so far as to state that in the month of November, there will be no food stamps being sent out. And of course, November houses Thanksgiving, the biggest food holiday of the year. We don't have enough money to aid federal workers that are working right now without a paycheck, but apparently we have enough money to bail out a whole nother country to the tune of $20 billion. So again, just a recap, we can't aid farmers, we can't aid American business owners, we can't aid those on assistance, we can't aid federal workers, but we can give Argentina $20 billion. Make that make sense.
What do you have to say to U.S. farmers who feel that the deal is benefiting Argentina more than it is them, they are
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it. They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means? They have no money. They have no anything. They're fighting so hard to survive. If I can help them survive in a free world, I happen to like the president of Argentina. I think he's trying to do the best he can. But don't make it sound like they're doing great. They are dying. All right?
Okay, so through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, let's make this make sense. Okay? Check this out.
Dying.
You ever notice how some people lose a war and just vanish? Well, when Nazi Germany fell in 1945, a whole bunch of high-ranking officials didn't stick around for the Nuremberg trials. They got on boats, boarded planes, and headed straight for South America. Argentina, it was the top destination. Under President Juan Perón, the country opened up its arms to fleeing Nazis like it was hosting some sort of post-war reunion. All because Perón admired fascism. And he thought by importing Nazi soldiers, scientists, and engineers would help modernize Argentina. So he created a rat line, which is a secret escape route through Vatican connections, Red Cross papers, and safe houses all across Europe. And who rolled through that pipeline? Adolf Eichmann, the architect of the Holocaust logistics. Joseph Mengele, a literal war criminal who experimented on children in Auschwitz. These weren't random soldiers, they were top brass. And Argentina didn't just tolerate them. They gave them new names, jobs, homes, even state protection. Mengele lived under aliases, practicing medicine without a license. Eichmann worked at a Mercedes-Benz plant before being kidnapped by Israeli agents and put on trial in Jerusalem. That's how protected they were. Whole war criminals just walking around grocery shopping, hiding in plain sight. And Argentina was not alone. Chile, Brazil, Paraguay, Bolivia, they all took in Nazi fugitives. In fact, over 90,000 SS officers and collaborators are estimated to have escaped to South America in the years following World War II. And let's be clear, these weren't just people following orders. They were hiding from justice. When people talk about accountability after war, remember this. A whole generation of war criminals lived out their days, sipping espressos in Buenos Aires, because global power isn't always about guilt or innocence.
Follow the money.
Lee, let me introduce you to Carter's theory of criminal investigation. Follow the rich white man.
Follow the rich white man?
Exactly, now you're learning. Every big crime. Let me introduce you to Carter's theory of criminal investigation. Follow the rich white man.
Follow the rich white man?
Exactly, now you're learning. Every big crime. Let me introduce you to Carter's theory of criminal investigation.
Nazis in Argentina after WW2. All right.
That Zionists considered creating a colony in the South American country of Argentina?
Who? Who created? Who?
What was this bet?
In 1896, in his book, that Zionists considered creating a colony in the South American country of Argentina? In 1896, in his book, The Jewish State,
The reason why that fucking money went there is because you have Jewish people, okay, there, okay, receiving assistance. Just like they send, just like America sends all that money to Israel at this time frame, billions of dollars, right? And it's the same thing in respect to Argentina. It's because you have Jewish people there. Okay, period. It's Jewish people. That's the reason why Trump sent that money. Okay? To help the Jewish people there.
Theodor Herzl, the founding father of Zionism, considered two territories to create a colony for Jews experiencing discrimination across Europe: Palestine and Argentina. He said that public opinion would select one of these options and that Zionists would take what is given to them. Herzl described Argentina as one of the most fertile countries in the world and said that the authorities would derive considerable profit from the cession of a portion of its territory. In the following years, the Zionist movement also considered other territories, such as Sinai in Egypt, Cyprus Island, and today's Kenya, to establish a state. But in the meantime, settlers continued to enter Argentina. Hundreds arrived in 1889 with the help of the Jewish Colonization Association. They bought land and founded more.
That's the fucking point, man. That's the fucking point. So through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Al-Shai, it makes sense. Okay? That's the reason why Trump gave that money to Argentina. Okay? Because you have Jewish people there backing it. Second Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. At least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And again, the reason why that money was sent to Argentina is because you have ish people there. Okay? Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust your enemy. I repeat, never trust your enemy, for like as iron rust, so is his wickedness. All you have to do is just sit back and watch. Okay? When it comes to Edomites, whose father lineage goes back to Esau, okay, pretty soon that wickedness will surface. It will spring forth. All you have to do is sit back and watch. But again, never trust your enemy. And unfortunately, Hosea 4 and 6, my people, Israelites, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, based on the lineage of our fathers that goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Okay, because you have rejected knowledge, I will also reject you, that you shall be no priest to me, seeing you have forgotten the law of your power. I will also forget your children. The point is, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. See, you have the non-elect, and in some cases, they don't know that the Edomites are our enemies. Okay? So back into Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust your enemy, for like as iron rust, so is his wickedness. Right, so you mean to tell me that this man can send millions and millions and millions of dollars to Israel and Argentina? And when I say this man, I'm really talking about like the concept of America, because all presidents do this. Okay, but now at this present time, you have farmers suffering, you have the American people suffering. Okay, you're defunding federal programs. Okay, you're eliminating federal jobs, but you can send millions and millions of dollars to Argentina. Why? Let's make it make sense. It's because the ish people are there. Okay? Just like they send millions and millions and millions of dollars to Israel. Verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and you shall be unto him as if you had wiped a looking glass. And when you wipe a looking glass, you can see clearly, crystal clear. You can see things for what it is. And we can see things for what it is via the Spirit. And you shall know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. And go to Chat GPT. How much money damn. In recent years, the U.S. commits just under $3.8 billion per year. Okay, $3.8 billion per year. And I stand corrected. Okay, I said millions and millions. No, $3.8 billion per year. In fiscal year 2023, the U.S. committed about $3.31 billion in foreign aid. Okay, so billions of dollars. And how much did Trump send to Argentina? $20 billion via a currency swap line, with plans to raise that to $40 billion. But meanwhile, the American people are suffering. And again, excuse me because I said millions and millions, but no, it's fucking billions of dollars. So billions of dollars are or billions of dollars is constantly sent to Israel. And you had a 20 billion, which is about to be raised to 40 billion to Argentina. And again, the reason why, because the Ish people are there in that area or demographic. All right, which brings me to Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 4. And the Egyptians, okay, modern day Americans, will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. He don't give a fuck. You got people on TikTok talking about running into Walmart and stealing shit, okay, because of the funding of these government assisted programs. You got people crying because they have lost their federal job. But meanwhile, you can send billions and billions and billions of dollars to overseas, but you tell the American people to hold on. Will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord? And these are the attributes or characteristics of a cruel Lord, okay? Referencing Donald Trump. And a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts. And the reason why these so-called Americans are in this predicament is because it's the will of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord will, this was edifying. Shalom.